Hi guys, it's me, the Big B again, and another video, and another review come flashing ROMs type of video, but not on a phone this time. This time we're going a little bit bigger. We're on this bad boy. It's an Android tablet. Now it's not any Android tablet, which I'm going to explain about. I'll just put this down a second and I'll explain a bit more. Now I've been after an Android tablet for a while, but as you know, on eBay you've got loads of these cheap Japanese knockoff ones that aren't very good. Resistive touchscreens, not fantastic spec, alright for the money I suppose. And then they've upgraded to some smaller 7-inch ones that have got proper capacitive touchscreens and Android 4 on them, and they're not bad, but they're not brilliant. The problem with those are they're only 7-inch for a start, which isn't a deal breaker, but the chip they use in them isn't compatible with a lot of the Android software that you get off the market, so hence you can see there's going to be a problem. Now what I wanted was a tablet that was cheap enough but also was compatible enough. Now the one I've gone for is, I'll just show you the back, the Advent Vega. Now the Advent Vega at the minute is retailing at just under £200. That's brand new and that's quite good. That's as cheap as some of these Japanese knockoffs, and it's running the NVIDIA Tegra chip, which gives you really nice performance, gives you excellent graphics performance, which I'll show you. Now the only thing with it was it comes with Android 2.2 I believe as stock, but XDA developers again have come to the rescue. I've mentioned them in every one of my videos so far. With 3.2, they work on 4.0, but 3.2 still looks the same as 4.0. It's got all that nice new front end, which again I'll show you. I'll switch the camera over so we're going to have a look at it. But I'm really happy with it, really happy. Now when you flash this, I will put links up by the way to some of the files you will need. You have to flash a modded ROM. It's not it's a stock ROM, the ROM that comes on the device, but it's modded, and it's quite easy to do. I'll put a link in to get so you can get that. It's called Vega Modded Stock ROM 1.10 version 2, and I'll put the link in to take you to the XDA page to grab that. There's a download link on there, and I'll also link to the ROM that I've put on. Now there are several different ROMs. The most famous one, pardon me, is called VIEWCOMB. Now I've tried that. I think it's up to version 9 now. When I've tried it, and it seemed very smooth. Don't get us wrong, the scroll and everything beautifully smooth, but I had a big problem with Wi-Fi, and it wasn't quite as stable as I would have liked. Now you can get an add-on pack for that called Honey Ice. You'll have to Google that because that's not actually on XDA developers. It's from another site, but it's got its own website. And what that is, it's an add-on pack that fixes a lot of the bugs and gives you overclocking capabilities and things, but again they report on certain bugs because it's just built on top of VIEWCOMB. Now the one I've settled on is called VIEWCOMB, and again I will put the link down there so you can go and grab the ROM yourself. Now you've got to do it in a specific way, but it's dead easy. It's ridiculously easy. What you do is you have to flash the modded stock ROM that I said, and that's flashed from the actual computer. You don't have to mess on rooting your device to start with. As it comes out the box with the normal ROM on, you just put it into its own recovery mode, which you do by turning it off, make sure the power's plugged in, and on the top here, as you can see there, you've got a back button and a power button, and you plug it in, power it completely off, plug it in so it's got power. Make sure you go to the Advent Vega website and get the USB drivers, and make sure you install them as per instructions on XDA developers. And what you do is you hold down the back button for a second, so you go 1 second, then press the power button for a second, let go of the power button, then let go of that, and basically you'll hear the computer beep. Make sure you have your USB port plugged in. You'll hear a beep, it'll install, and then you should be in recovery mode. And then what you do is you double click run the Vega modded stock ROM version 1.10 version 2 that you'll have downloaded, and then that will flash automatically. Just follow the on-screen instructions, it's dead easy. It will flash the new modded ROM over. Then it'll reboot. When it reboots, you'll get a little green Android, and then after a couple of seconds it'll disappear, it'll turn itself off. Don't panic, it hasn't failed. You just then turn it back on, your pad back on, it will then boot up back into what looks like stock ROM, but it isn't. It's already pre-rooted, and now you've got the clockwork recovery on there. So that's all nice. So what you do then is just go into the settings and you'll find a little icon called recovery. You click that, it'll boot into recovery mode. So what'll happen is it'll reboot, turn off, then the screen will just sit there black, but you can see the backlights on. Just wait a couple of seconds and you should then be booted into the recovery mode, clockwork recovery. Touch wood. So once you're in clockwork recovery mode, you've rebooted, you can go in there, you can do all the stuff you normally could with your phone for clockwork thing. You can do NAND backups, you can flash update zips, but you don't need to with the VIEWCOMB 3.2, the new one you're going to put on, because it's not an update zip, it is actually again a modified self-installer. So once you've gone into recovery mode and you're sure everything's alright there, power off. There's a setting in recovery mode to power off, let it power off, and then do the same again. Go into the normal recovery mode by holding the back button for a second, power button, let go of the power button, let go of the thing, go back into recovery mode, and then run your VIEWCOMB 3.2 build 7.2, which is the one I've got the link to, that's the latest one, and it'll go through exactly the same procedure. It'll push the update and the new ROM and everything onto the device from the computer. It'll then reboot, and then you just wait, and once it reboots you'll get an animated screen saying VIEWCOMB, and again I'll show you on this one when I swap the camera around, and I'll show you how quickly it boots up as well and how nice it is. Now just before I do that, I'll just go through a bit about the machine itself. Don't worry about if you haven't caught all of that, it's all on the links that I'm going to post on XDA. Everything's there, all the instructions you need. Just read, just do what I did, just read and make sure you understand, but it is so simple, guys, so simple. And I'll just turn the screen off this. Right, again, there's the tablet. It's just a standard tablet, really nice responsive capacitive touchscreen, camera, not the world's highest resolution, but it works, and you've got a camera. Now on this side, obviously power cable. Now you have got, I mean, camera won't autofocus, but there's a little flap there, and it's nice because it's on like a little spring-loaded flap, and under there you have USB to plug it in to the computer, and it's actually not a mini USB, it's a full-size USB, because obviously you can plug keyboards and things into this as well, and a mouse and other things. You've also got HDMI out to plug that into your TV, and your SD card slot. This has got a 16GB SD card in. You have your earphone there, volume up and down, and like I showed you before, on the top you have the back button, the lock screen, power. Nothing on the back at all but a couple of speakers at the bottom and a connection at the bottom for plugging it into a docking device and things like that. So standard tablet, again very nice, not too heavy, not too bad to hold. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to switch the camera around and show you the actual thing booting up and show you a bit about the operating system and what I like. A few things that are a little bit maybe buggy, but again they're working on it, considering it's 3.2 and it's running really nice. And again, NVIDIA Tegra graphics on this are amazing, which I'll show you in a second. So two seconds,
guys, here we are back. That's just the glare off the screen, that's the actual pad there. I'm going to show you this bad boy booting up. So press the power button, screen lights up. I've tried to get this into the best position I can, guys. I do apologise for any glare and if the screen's not perfect, because my camera has got no auto view focus or nothing like that. So there you go, there's the VIEWCOMB. That's what you'll get when you boot up. Little tiny spinny wheel. And again, it doesn't take very long to boot up at all. I was quite impressed with the boot up time, considering some of the things. There you go, that's us in. And again, you've got the nice lock, and again, look how smooth that is. It's very smooth. Any lag that you see will be from my camera rather than from the thing. So right, we in. I've got a few things installed, which is my email. As you can see, all emails and everything set up. That's your main screen. And just to prove everything's working, I will run most things, but Again, it's just booted up. You've got to give it a couple of seconds, so it may be a bit laggy. But like I say, some of those other ROMs are smoother, but this one is the most stable. All of the ROMs at the minute, the 3.2s, have a slight problem with if you put the tablet into sleep mode and you leave it for a very long time. Sometimes when you wake it up, the Wi-Fi hasn't connected. You've got to turn the Wi-Fi on and off, but it doesn't do it all the time. But on the Vega ROM, it did it more than this one. This sim, to me, I've sacrificed the smoothness of the scrolling a little bit for stability. So right, as you can see, that's my game screen I've got on there. I've got a couple of other things on there because I do ghost apps and things as well. Widgets and things on that one. And you can see, I mean, overall, I'm it's very smooth, the transitions. There's a little tiny bit of lag and jerk sometimes, and then sometimes there isn't. It depends what, how your Android is. It's doing a lot of stuff in the background, which again is, I'll show you what can be running in the background. But first, just to show everything's running, Android Market, just to show that that all works out of the box. There you go, games, Android Market working full, and that is just out of the box as is. And then, by the way, that's your back button, that's your home button, and that's your multitask button on Android. Up here, we have a little apps thing. You click that, that takes you into your apps drawer, where all your apps are located. And again, there, it's not as laggy as what it may be looking on here, because I can even see my hand moving. It's a bit jerky, but my camera's, like I say, is not the world's best. So that's your apps market. Click home, come back out. You can also long press, and this is where there's all your home screens, and this is where you can add stuff. You've got widgets at the minute, so you can add different widgets in. Oops, I clicked that by accident. I didn't mean to do that. I caused a problem there. I didn't mean to. That force closed. I accidentally clicked the button rather than scroll it. Right, there we go. YouTube widget. Again, YouTube on this is really good. I'll show you. You can also then just drag and drop your apps up as you want. Just drag, drop. I'll show you. See the camcorder one. You grab hold of it, and you can go and you can place it onto. And you can see that little outline that's appearing. That's just showing you where it can actually lock to. So you drop, and it's in. There it is. It's in there. If you don't want it in, take it away, drag it off, press long hold, come back out. Wallpapers. Now you do have live wallpapers. You can use your gallery. Like I say, live wallpapers work fine. You click, it changes. You click home, and you're back again. Simple as that. Email and everything works. Like I say, YouTube. I'll show you that. I really like the YouTube app. When you're logged into YouTube, the first screen you'll see on here is the same as when you would first log into YouTube, and this is your recommended videos that it's recommended, and it's on a carousel, which is like bent in sort of 3D, and it's really cool. I really like that. I just really like the thing in general. So I'll just click a video just to show you that it is working. All related videos one side, it's buffering at that side. It may take it in because my internet connection is not the world's best, but okay. There.
Hey guys, it's Kate.
Fully working, as you can see. Again, shrink it back down, come back out. Now this icon I showed you here, that's your multitasking thing. That's showing you what you've run. It can go right off the screen depending on what you're running. But basically it means you can just jump backwards and forwards between apps you've already ran, which again is quite good. What else? Email works. Got the Hotmail logged in through that. Obviously I'm logged in through Google, so it's automatically signed into my Google thing because it's a Google browser. So they say the browser working. It's got full flash support. Again, really cool. Had no problems with that. Comes with this weather app and thing here, which I quite like, and the clock. That little lock there, by the way, is just so I can lock the screen without having to press the button up there. Lazy, I know. It comes with file manager built in, which again quite like. So you can install the apps straight from the SD card and copy and paste and move. And there's got no movies on at the minute. I've got some music there, but I'll show you the music app separately. Music app, again, just to prove it's all working. I know it's going to make my video a bit longer, but I just want to prove to you guys that this works. Again, this is like on nice 3D cards that go back. But click on the one you want. Click on. Turn the volume up, but there you go. It's playing there, playing nicely. Looks quite nice. Again, so all that's fully working. You got your standard gallery. There you go. That's your standard Android gallery. Sound recorder speaks to itself. That is just an email app, so I can see the emails and things. Those are the non-standard launch markets to get your dodgy files if you want. Video playback's quite good. This is the mobile player, free from the Android market. You don't have to get it from any dodgy site. And again, this is a DivX piece of DivX encoded video, which works very well. That's my low bands ghost hunting video, which is on my YouTube channel if anyone wants to have a look. Much appreciate any comments. But anyway, as you can see, that runs fine. Again, nice little player. Now, games wise, I'm really impressed with the games, with how smooth they are. So again, some haven't worked, but I'm not sure whether that's just a problem with the actual ROM or just the games. Some of them are not coming from the official site. Now, if you're running one of these Advent Vegas, you're running the Tegra, and some of the games are actually specially enhanced for the Tegra. Now, you can get an app from the market, which I'll show you, which just lists all of the games that are available especially for the Tegra. Now, if you look at that and look at the smoothness of those graphics, how smooth. That's real-time generated 3D. I don't think I've got a save game. I haven't. So you've got to start new. Again, I'll just let this intro. This is real-time generated.
Darius asteroid belt. An asteroid belt. Perfect hiding place for pirates. Now, where are those pirates? What are we gonna do, boss? This guy will be shaking us
Really nice
forever.
graphics. Really impressed.
That's Maxwell, stubborn as hell. He's after the bounty on our head.
Right. There's a couple of other games there, but you get the idea. The games are really nice. Now, if you go to the market, I'll just point you towards this, guys, because I need to install it myself. And it's called NVIDIA Tegra Zone. And I'll actually install it. Again, I don't mind this video being too long, I suppose. And again, any game that you get that ends in THD, that stands for Tegra. Tegra HD, that means it's optimized for the Tegra devices. And again, this just proves that stuff does install from the market. There you go, done. Open it. It's already created a shortcut. Get started. Right, what this does is it just highlights all games that are optimized for the Tegra and lists them down the side. Some of them are actually free. You can get them for free. Obviously, some of them aren't, so you maybe have to go for another source to get them. But you can see there's quite a few there. And you click on them, it'll link you to the Android market, and you can get them there. See, there's the icon. It created an icon, so just plop it down there. Right, like I say, I will put links down to the two files, the modded stock ROM, that you must flash that first. Do not try just to flash the VIEWCOMB, this 3.2 ROM, because it won't work. You'll just end up in a boot loop, and then which is not a problem. You can still just power into the recovery mode that I told you about and flash this modded one or the stock one. But flash the Vega modded stock ROM first, the version 2 one that you'll download, that will be in the description. Once that's done and you've let it boot up and then shut back down, go back into the recovery mode, like I said, with these two buttons, that back button for a second, power button, let go, power button, let go thing. It takes a bit of doing, but it's easy once you get the hang of it. Then flash the custom 3.2, the VEGACOMB, and then you're sorted. Then you'll get to this. And I'm quite happy with this. Like I say, it's not as smooth as a couple of the others, but it's more stable. So you've traded a little bit of smoothness for stability, which at the minute is good. I'd rather have it and there's nothing wrong with that at all. I've actually seen other Android Android tablets like the Arcos and things, and even on their stock ROM, which is 2.2 and 2.3, they are very jerky and very slow. My brother has one, and it's not very fast. It's alright for what it does, but it's just jerky as hell. And this is running a non-standard ROM that's not supposed to be on here, and it's still, that's more than acceptably smooth. And again, you see that flick there, that wasn't again a problem with the ROM. That's the thing, if you go slow and then you flick, it basically shoots straight over to the next screen. It's like a gesture thing there, I did it there. It's getting the hang of it, so you can flick quick, like that. But getting the flick right. But again, all works really good. So right guys, I'm going to put the links in the description. Any questions, please ask, but this just proves that it does work, that everything works fine. You've got Clockwork Recovery mod on there. You've got your new ROM. It works really well. I'm really pleased with it. Apart from the little problem maybe is with the Wi-Fi, if you leave it on sleep mode for a very long time, you know, maybe it's a couple of force closes of a couple of the programs I've had. There's a free one that comes, like a movie one that comes installed, it force closes, but they're still working on these things. You know what I mean? They still update them all the time. They're already working on Android 4.0 for it, but if they can get 3.2 nailed down and looking really nice and stable, that'll do for me. Obviously 4.0 would be nice. They have got some early sort of beta ROMs, but you know, I wouldn't sort of bother with them at the minute. But I'll leave it there guys, because this is going to be ticking on now. Any comments, please leave them. I'll help you best I can. Follow those links I'll put, but please read all the instructions. Again, it's dead easy to flash the modded stock ROM, and then it's dead easy to put the VIEWCOMB one over the top, but please read instructions first. Make sure you know what you're doing. Again, with all of these things, if you don't know what you're doing, please ask, or, you know, read. And I'm going to leave it there, guys, because there's someone at the door.